I'm Nilay, I'm 22, and I'm a communication student, currently interning at a tech company. My role here, as I see it, is to cut through the noise, both literal and figurative, and cultivate a truly connected workplace. I believe every interaction, every space, is political. There's no neutrality. You're either off the solution or off the problem. When I first arrived in this office, it was a mess of disconnected individuals. Everyone, and I mean everyone, had their noise-canceling headphones glued to their ears. It was a digital wall, a microaggression against genuine human connection. How could we foster a collaborative environment, a true community, if people were constantly shutting each other out? I saw it as a symbol of toxic individualism, an Eisen's mentality disguised as productivity. I made it my mission to challenge this, to bring actual communication back into focus. I meticulously documented my observations, subtly recording snippets of conversations where people clearly struggled to get the attention of a headphone-clad colleague. These would be my evidence. After several well-crafted internal memos and a persuasive presentation to HR, emphasizing the importance of inclusive communication practices and fostering a psychologically safe space where everyone feels heard, my initiative gained traction. We framed it as a move towards greater transparency and reducing internal silos. The new policy was announced: no headphones in open office spaces. The initial pushback, mostly from the developers, was exactly what I expected from people so entrenched in their comfort zones. They grumbled about focus and concentration, but I saw through it. It was just resistance to change, resistance to being truly present. I gently corrected one of them, a man who dared to call the policy ridiculous, reminding him, it's not about ridiculousness, it's about equitable access to communication channels for everyone, not just those who prefer to exist in their own bubbles. His face reddened, a small victory. For the first few days, the office felt vibrant. There was chatter, actual human voices, instead of the drone of silent, hunched figures. I felt a surge of satisfaction. This was progress. This was what real communication looked like. People were forced to interact, to look up from their screens to engage. I posted about it on my private story, tagging it #WorkplaceRevolution, #NoMoreSilences. My followers loved it, validating my instincts. They understood what I was fighting for. This wasn't just an office policy, it was a socio-political statement against insularity. But as the weeks passed, a different kind of silence began to settle. It wasn't the focused hum of productivity, it was the tense, frustrated quiet of people struggling. I overheard more exasperated sighs, more muttered curses under breath. The developers, whom I previously thought were just resisting, now looked genuinely stressed. Their usual animated discussions were replaced by curt, almost aggressive exchanges. Deadlines for the major client project started slipping, alarmingly so. I saw the project manager, a usually composed woman, pulling at her hair, her voice increasingly strained. When she tried to explain that the developers' focus had been severely impacted by the constant background noise, I dismissed it. Focus is a mindset, I told a colleague, not a privilege of isolation. I genuinely believed they just weren't adapting fast enough, or perhaps they simply weren't as skilled as they claimed. Then came the email. A stern, concise communication from upper management. The client, our biggest one, had pulled out. The project, months of work, was a failure. The reason cited: unacceptable delays and a severe drop in quality. My social media feed, usually a source of affirmation, felt suddenly cold. I scrolled past old posts, my triumphs feeling hollow. Toxic environment, a manager muttered, walking past my desk, but she wasn't looking at me. No one was. I glanced at the empty desks of the developer team. Some had already packed their things. This couldn't be my fault. It was clearly the fault of those developers who couldn't adapt, who failed to embrace a more communicative culture. They were the real problem, not me, not my vision for a better, more connected workplace. I pulled out my phone, ready to document the company's internal failings. There had to be someone to expose, someone to hold accountable for this colossal blunder.